I've always kind of dreamed about building cars as a profession. Richard Rawlings can rub people the wrong way sometimes, but I definitely look up to him for his business acumen. So the initial kickoff for that was my wife. She's the one that told me to do it. She saw me watching these car builder TV shows every night.
Welcome to the Ride and Style Podcast, your turbocharged pit stop for automotive restyling. Buckle up with Jesse and Josh.
Welcome to another episode of the Ride and Style Podcast. We've got a great guest for you today, Tyler Willy of GKR Motorcars.com. And how you doing today, Tyler? Thanks for being with us.
Hey, pretty good. Weather's starting to warm up, so we got the shop doors open and
Ooh. Now, what do you prefer to do
right now?
What do you prefer to do in the shop when it's nice out and you got the doors open? Obviously, paint's probably not your friend. What do you guys like to do?
The everything before paint for sure.
Yeah.
Just kind of put some fans on, suck some of that dust out, so it's not so much in the air.
Yeah.
But really, it's just the weather. Better mood when it's better weather.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I was just looking at some of the builds you've been doing. I mean, obviously Bronco's so hot, and the first thing that came to my mind was, why do you think there's this role of cars that come and go? I mean, for instance, like the Bronco. 10 years ago, the Bronco, okay, but obviously when the new ones came out, all of a sudden the old ones became so popular. Why do you think that is?
I mean, I've actually done a lot of thought on this, especially for business planning in the future. And I think it's kind of generational. I think, dads back in the day wanted the two-seaters or the big muscle cars and didn't really care about taking their kids and daily driving. But like for me, I love taking my kids for a ride, and I want the SUV, the sports SUV, the sedan that's like a CT5V or something like that, because I want my kids to experience that. And not that dads, didn't do that in the past. I just think my generation is just, I don't know. We like our SUVs, and it's just kind of that's we're kind of coming into that money. My generation is now. We've got some pretty long careers set up now, and so you're seeing so many of these fast sedans when it seems like the sedan's dying overall. You're not selling the luxury sedan per se, like the old the Cadillac sedans as just luxury. It's a Cadillac sedan as like a high performance car now, and they're selling well because my generation wants a supercharged V8 in their kid hauler.
They want a Corvette engine in their Cadillac.
Exactly.
Yes. Awesome. Go ahead, Jesse. Sorry.
I was just going to say, tell us a little bit more about the background and the history. You touched on it here, but how'd you get started in all this stuff? What's the journey been like?
Yeah, so I grew up on the farm, trucks and tractors, learning how everything worked out of necessity, just to keep the farm moving. And it was just instilled in me. I'm a builder, I'm a tinker. I was always just doing something in the barn. But then once I turned 16, speaking of generational, that's when Fast and Furious, the first one, came out. And not that those cars are necessarily my style, but it was kind of the thought of, fast and sports cars and, doing stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really do too many. I mean, I've done some stupid things in tractors, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of more fun.
We got to come back to that.
Yeah,
we'll
right?
come back to that. I'll put an asterisk there. Go ahead.
Yeah. But then, ever since I was 16, it just turned into cars, two doors, and just, I tinker with trucks, but it was all about cars, muscle cars. I was a Dodge guy growing up. We had Dodge trucks, but then it kind of transitioned to Dodge Chargers, Dodge Challengers.
Mm-hmm.
Those are always way too expensive for me. So I had Corvettes. I'd always find a cheap Corvette, and I would flip. That was kind of my bread and butter. Was with my main job I had 9 to 5, I would flip cars on the side, and they were usually a Corvette. I would just put new carpet and seat covers, and it would just change the car altogether. I'd make, a couple grand on it, drive it for a few months, whatever. And then, these shows really started coming out, Gas Monkey Garage, Kindig, those kind of things. And it just kind of gave me the idea, like, that's my dream. That's what I want to do. And I've always kind of dreamed about building cars as a profession. and then seeing them do it and the business side of it all, I mean, Richard Rawlings can rub people the wrong way sometimes, but I definitely look up to him for his business acumen, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty good on that side of things, the branding and all that. So that's what's kind of big for us. We build the cars, but that's like the cool part of the brand. And we're expanding into some other things now outside of just car building itself. So
Nice.
yeah.
So that's how you kind of got into it. But I mean, you touch on it a little bit on your website. I mean, and I wanted to ask you, how much do you think you just had natural raw talent, maybe like from your dad, versus how much do you think a person have to kind of learn from hard knocks?
Yeah, I mean, my dad, he's an electrician, so he's very OCD like me, detail oriented. We would go, I'd get in so much trouble if I didn't have wires straight when we'd go wire a house or something. He was on the house side of everything, but, it was just that attention to detail and how things work is what I got from him. And then I just happened to apply it to cars because there's literally no car people, no car guys, no car girls in my family. Everybody, I mean, my family liked trucks, but they never like really customized trucks per se.
Yeah.
It was more just, a dually diesel to haul stuff around. But yeah, I'm the only car person in my entire family pretty much.
So is a lot of that self-taught then? You taught yourself
Yeah.
how to do body work, paint, restoration.
Yep. Another going back to generation, we've got YouTube, and
Yeah.
I tell the guys in the shop, I'm like, don't be embarrassed to go to YouTube if there's something you can't figure out. I'm sure Dave Kindig looks at YouTube sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
it's just sometimes you just don't be afraid to go get some help. And yeah, self-taught. But again, I was kind of born with a lot of that just mechanical building mentality.
That's cool.
Speaking of your website, it's beautiful. And the
Thank you.
photos that you guys have taken, professional. My favorite is the Cobra that you have on What We Built page. That thing is awesome.
Yeah, that kind of evolved from when I first got it. 'Cause that's actually the car I bought to test run like a full project before starting the business. And it started as a side project that wasn't just changing out some carpet, obviously. Um, and then it ended with the business started. So that was really like the first car we kind of sold as a full project under the GKR brand. So
Nice.
the kind of
Yeah.
transition car.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. And you look at the Chevy truck and the Trans Am.
I gotta show this. I gotta do a screen share for
Yeah,
us.
show those on.
Because this is just awesome. This thing. I'm on the Cobra page here, and just looking some of the photos and the project and all that you guys did. It's incredible, and seeing this thing scream down the street, that's just very, very cool. Just really neat.
And we went with, obviously nice and polished, but there's some rawness to it that we kind of like. And the thread of, Shelby when he built these, they weren't perfect. He was just kind of cobbling them together as best as possible. And not that we cobbled it together, but we kind of gave it that look of cobbled together to where with the exhaust, we made super raw just to kind of look like it's kind of a race car underneath there. Now, of course, this truck is nothing cobbled together looking there on the 50 Chevy or the Bandit Trans Am. It just kind of sometimes we go with a theme, and we're working on actually a 76 C10 right now. It's a Spirit of 76, and we're not using the exact. It's numbers matching everything, but we're not using the exact same colors. We're going to do just a little thread of custom in the blue and white that's on there, just to give it a little more richness and so it's kind of custom, but it definitely has that thread of what it is as a really rare truck.
Yeah.
So we kind of go little themes in some of these cars. Kind of fun.
So are these all you guys own these, or do customers bring them to you?
Mix and match. So the Cobra and the Bandit were both spec builds that we built and sold. The two Broncos, the 50 Chevy, the 69 Camaro that I wish you guys could see over here next to me. All customer cars. We've got a couple more customer cars that are here, and then we've got that 76 Chevy pickup I mentioned as a spec build. So
yeah,
it's kind of, we fill the gap with specs. So right now we have a lot more customer cars, because we have that many customers. But it's kind of nice. They both have their pluses and minuses, though.
Yeah.
To go into a little bit more about your business today, like what are you doing now, and what makes you guys stand out? Like what's your focus and your vision for where you want to go with it?
Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, the brand, and expanding it to more than just building cars. We want people to feel a part of a community and, um, really just like spread car peopleism, if that's a word, here in the local area. Because I always say, like, you don't have to be a car person to be a car person. You see a cool car go by, you could hate cars, and I guarantee you see a cool car go by, you would turn your head. There's that you can't lie to me and tell me you won't. But we're building a large campus here in Columbia, Missouri. We're doing the garage condo concept here. We're first to market here, building a community around garage condos. Um, some of them are car guys that we've got under contract. Some of them aren't. But it's just in that same thread of like what we bring, community and cars and coolness and just all that. We'll have an event center out there eventually. My future shop will be out there.
Yeah.
But eventually we have the Lake of the Ozarks here in Missouri, and it's in the summer it's about as hot as it gets, as far as money that moves around that lake. And I've probably had at least 250 some thousand people tell me to never open up a bar and grill. I've never had one person tell me it's a good idea, but it's kind of a dream of mine to have something on the water down there that's centered around the brand. I mean, look at Richard Rawlings. He's got that kind of, he does that stuff. It pushes the brand. The people that have the money down there, they'll come in there and we'll have maybe a car or two on display at any given time. And yeah, it's really just the brand right now. That's what I'm working on now. I mean, I'm working on cars still as much as possible. There's just still a few subject matter expert things that I've only got training on, specifically with like the electric conversions that we do. But we're all kind of learning together on that kind of stuff because I'm just getting pulled away more, whether it's client relations or this new campus build. Definitely kind of getting pulled all over the place.
I want to ask you about the campus build because is that a new concept? I don't know that I've heard about that a lot where everybody just has like their own little, it's beautiful. It's on your website. So go GKR motorcars.com. But so like, let's say I and Jesse, we each have a garage that we rent out. We can keep our cars in there, mainly for cars, but it can also be a hangout area, golf simulator. I saw stuff like that. But then eventually maybe you'll have like cars and coffee there or other events or car shows. But is that for people who maybe don't have their own garage, or what's the trend with it?
Yeah, so it's people who just want like their own private space. I mean, it's definitely demographic wise. So far, it's all men. They want that private space that's maybe not a basement per se at their house, but I think a lot of people want that extra shop, that extra building behind their house, but they live in a subdivision that they don't have the land to do it, or the HOA won't let them do it. So this gives them that opportunity to kind of build their custom space, and we're actually selling these to these people so that they can invest in them.
So you're not renting them.
Mm-mm.
You can actually sell like a condo then.
Yep,
Okay.
we're selling a white box essentially.
Yeah.
And they're decking them out on the inside, so they're putting mezzanines in there. Like ours specifically has a mezzanine, a pool table, lounge area upstairs with a full bar, and then a kitchen downstairs with another lounge area, full bathroom.
I love it.
Yeah, it's just.
And how does everybody do it without their wives finding out? That's what I want to know.
I have to sign NDAs now.
you have signed NDAs, and all of a sudden you got to send bills to like offshore accounts and all these things like that. But all that comes, I'm assuming, with the disclaimer that you'll help us get it past our wives.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep. And actually, it's funny you say that because I'm in some of the local women's groups here, because that's the heart to the man is through the woman. So I go to these women's groups. And it's not like a women's group per se where it's just women, but it's like the women's business group. They invite everybody to them, but it's just a women centric kind of conversation. And I go to those, and they love the idea as well. It's like, I always say man cave or she shed. It's like you guys can, doesn't have to
Yeah,
just be limited to dudes out there. Like I'd love to have more diversity out there. And
absolutely. Plus, get their garage back if they
yeah,
do have a garage. I mean,
yeah,
nothing worse than having. I mean, if I'm a lady, there's nothing worse than having my guy's old car that just sits out there and takes up space. Go get your own space.
yeah, exactly. And there's actually a guy, he's buying 3 of them. He's setting it up as a family place. He'll have his cars in one section, but
Mhm.
he's got an office in another section. And one section is just purely devoted to um, family. So they'll have like Thanksgivings out there, Christmases out there. It'll be a
Nice.
family party area for them.
No, I love it. No, it's great. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. So, and then you said your shop's going to eventually be there.
Yep. Yep. We've got a 22,000 square foot shop planned. A lot of that'll be, office space and showroom area. But
Mm-hmm.
on our EV side of things, we'd like to have the space to eventually do like fleet conversions.
Yep.
Local governments, they have some aging um, fleets out there, and if we were able to efficiently convert some of the stuff to electric, where they had no maintenance for the rest of their lives, you could take an old truck and just make it electric. So we
Yep.
want to have some space to do fleet stuff, and then just more space in general. We want to have, we have pretty small body and paint area right now.
So what percentage of your business is EV conversions versus what do you expect it to be in the future?
So right now, our business is probably just under a third, around a third EV.
Okay. That's great. That's a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, and especially in mid-Missouri, the Midwest, you wouldn't think
Yeah, it's coming.
you'd think everybody in the Midwest would hate EVs, but no,
We also hate putting gas in our cars.
yeah,
So
right. The yeah, the EV is 1/3, and we get a lot of, inquiry wise, it's probably 60% EV stuff. I get a lot of people asking about EV stuff. I don't know if it's just because it's new to the scene of Midwest. East or West Coast has been doing this stuff since the
yeah,
90s, I feel like. But it's just still kind of a newer trend here, and people asking about it. But once they find the price point, it's kind of like that solar panel on your roof. Like, oh, it's
yep,
gonna save me so much money. I'll never have to buy from the grid again. But how much
yeah.
does it cost? So it's that kind of exact same mentality that we run into a lot of people. And then, adding air conditioning and power steering, you don't have an accessory drive anymore. So it's just as they add these like options that you're kind of just become accustomed to, and that's even more, it's just kind of kills some people. But some people, that's just what they want. We've got a double cab Volkswagen here. The guy has an electric truck, electric sedan, and he's even got an electric tractor. I didn't even know they made those. But he wants his electric fun car as well. So
Makes sense.
yeah.
It makes sense. That's awesome. So, how was the learning curve on getting into EV conversions? I mean, obviously, you said it took a little bit of time. You're still learning. You're still getting. Is the technology now to the point where you can order a kit and just do it, or do you still have to fabricate a lot?
There's still plenty of fabrication, and I can take that fabrication dial as far as I want to, or little as I want to, um, because of what I've learned with the projects we've done. But it's pretty easy now to buy. This is one of our 400-volt systems that we're putting into this double cab, and these battery packs come they're just 4 modules that you just essentially plug and play. We have to do wiring to connect it all to the BMS system, but it's pretty basic stuff. It's not really that difficult. And then from there, it's just fabricating an electric Tesla motor, where a little tiny Volkswagen motor went. So that's any kind of fabrication. That's not electrical specific. That's just
Yeah.
making brackets and making it all work. So
Go ahead, Jesse. Sorry.
I I just kind of wanted to ask a general question too. What's been one of the biggest challenges in your career, and how'd you get through it?
yeah, oh man, I think just balancing like family and the business. and just, my dreams have always been so big, and it's just kind of like, well, I've got 3 kids now, and I'm going to be 40 this year, and I just the energy. I still have the 25-year-old energy in my brain, but the body is not quite 25 years old.
And that gets
it's
worse,
just,
by the way.
Yeah.
I've heard. I need to stop having birthdays or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's just kind of balancing, that work life. The 9 to 5 that I used to have was really good about work life balance, and it was for a 9 to 5, it was nice. But for me, what I wanted to do with my dreams, that's where my problem was. It wasn't the job or the company. It was just I just had bigger dreams than a 9 to 5. And coming here, it was just like work life's up to me now. And there's been times when I go way down the life the life side and way down the work side, and I'm coming up on 4 years now with the business, and it's still you know finding that balance, and it's not an everyday balance. Some weeks I'm like not even I'm in the area, but I'm not home. I'm just doing
Yeah.
stuff. I've got 3 networking events in the evenings, or whatever. Especially with the summer coming up, we got car shows, so it's like weekends. And yeah, I mean, I gave up Mizzou football this year because I can't spend that many weekends away for football in addition to promoting the business. So
Yeah, no, I hear you. So what, when you have, your work-life balance, obviously huge, got to do that. You started in 2021.
hmm
What made you just start your own business? How do you go from a 9 to 5 to, you know what, I'm doing it?
Yep.
And was that scary? I mean, was your wife on board?
Well, it's funny you say the initial kickoff for that was my wife. She's the one that told me to do it. She knows. I mean, she saw me watching these, car builder TV shows every night, pretty much, trying to get my kids into them when they just wanted to watch Paw Patrol or something. And there was a little bit of a change going on at work, and that I was kind of going through, and I think she kind of sensed it. I was like, man, I'm just, I don't know if I'm going to do a big change at the business or at my current job. Like, why don't I just do it in life and actually do this dream that I want? Because I was eventually going to start
Yeah.
my own business down the road.
And
But
you
at
were
the
probably already
time,
doing some on the side, right?
oh
I
yeah,
mean, you were
yeah.
working in the evenings and
I
weekends.
had I had a game plan together. I mean, I had it, and I probably had it together a lot sooner than I really thought I was far along on it. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought about it a lot, and she finally was just like, you're going through these changes at work. Why don't you just, if you're going through changes, just go through them for yourself? And I was like, all right, I guess so. So I decided I left my job and with her behind me and did it. And then about 8 months after that, she's like, I think I want a third kid. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hey,
I just
you got what you wanted
I
now.
know.
That was a total setup. She's a
Yep.
wise woman.
Oh yeah, she is. But no, it was one of those things, that the 25-year-old mind I talked about earlier was ready to do it.
Yeah.
And I knew how many times I'd heard entrepreneurs say, I wish I'd done it earlier. I wish I'd done it earlier. And I mean, I'm one of those entrepreneurs now saying, I wish I'd done it earlier. And I'm glad I did when I did it, because about now is roughly when I was thinking I would do it. 3 years
Mm.
for when I did it is when I was like really planning to do it. But and then it was just kind of, for me, I'm somebody that just signs up for something if I'm confident in it, and then that keeps myself accountable,
Yeah.
and that's what I did. I had a plan, but I just jumped in it and did it. Got down to the shop, built cars, and now we've got 3 employees and grown the brand into a 8-acre campus, and
It's awesome.
not looking back. So
Awesome.
I don't know how it happened, but we're here.
What are you, where do you see the industry going, and what are you excited about in terms of the future?
Yeah, I mean, the industry, I mean, there's a few different ways I could go with this, but I think really I think modular. It's funny because Slate just came out, that truck SUV.
Mhm.
I think we're going to see a lot more minimalistic stuff like that, because
No radios, no anything, huh?
yeah,
And then you just go from there.
yeah, I think I mean, we're still going to have that kind of high level industry,
Sure.
the big three, Mercedes, BMW, they're going to build their stuff. I don't think that stuff's going anywhere. I think it'll be a lot more diverse with electric, and I think electric's going to be more of a job specific kind of thing. Electric's not the answer to everything. We're never going to be 100% electric. I think electric hybrid has a huge future. I'm actually kind of working on some stuff there with somebody trying to figure out like what electric hybrid kind of stuff could look like. More on the industrial side, commercial side, but you know, Dodge is kind of a case study for I think the future. They're like, oh, we're going all electric finally, an electric muscle car, and they're like, actually, wait a minute, no, we're not. I think we'll still have, I don't know if it'll be fire-breathing V8s like they are today, maybe in 10 or 15 years, but I think America will finally adopt the notion of, turbocharged V6s and still, because people still want that sound. I mean,
Yeah.
I have the electric Lotus Esprit here that I drive every once in a while, but there's just something about my C7 Corvette with, really loud exhaust on it. And same with, like this, I'm looking at getting a sedan here pretty soon, like a CT5V or something like that. And I don't know, I want my kids to experience that too. So, but I think of more diversity in just drivetrains, a little electric, still mostly gas. And then I think just things will get more modular down the road. It's like people want to customize without spending a crazy amount of money on like some of these builds that we do.
Yeah.
So they just want that they want to show off their style, I guess is what I'm trying to say, in their car without, building a 69 Camaro for a crap ton of money.
So we have a lot of business owners that live or that listen, and how do you? I like to ask people, like, how do you charge? How do you come up with, like, somebody brings in, I don't know, let's say they bring in a 67 Charger, and they're like, hey, I want to resto this thing.
Yeah.
How do you even charge with that? Because I mean, do you basically go, okay, well, here's my hourly rate, here's my guesstimate of hours, parts, or how do you do it?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how it is. I mean, the project ends up costing what the project ends up costing is what I kind of start out with, because when I wasn't doing that, I was underselling, and then we get to a point, and I was like, oh no, we've still got like 200 or 300 hours left on this, and we're at the budget. So, and then I also learned how to budget better too. But it really is, I'll start off with initial conversations. We just had somebody reach out yesterday, actually, that I talked to, and I just kind of gave him some ballpark numbers. If you want to do LS, if you want to go full resto mod, you're talking suspension. Are we talking like a new chassis altogether, or are we just kind of adding some control arms and a rear forklink? It's like that in my head. I understand now a lot better now that I've got almost 4 years under my belt. I can give high level numbers, and then from there, based off the car, it slides from there. So like the 69 Camaro, you can go find parts from like 10 different manufacturers for a 69 Camaro or a Corvette. But we've got this 79 Porsche 911 over here, Targa. There's plenty of them out there, but they're still very proud of the parts for them. And
cost is way up.
Yeah, parts are up there on that one. A lot of stuff we can reuse, but yeah, I mean, and then in the end, I just tell them, this is just an estimate, and
it is going to go over budget.
And it is exactly. And that's literally the next words out of my mouth was it's probably going to go over this number. So just expect that. And if you add something, it's going to even go even more over that budget. Because they always add something. They come out and see the project, and they're like, well, I've been thinking about doing this. I've been on Google and looking at this and that, and I saw this thing. I kind of want that.
Oh, that gives me a headache just thinking about it.
And there's times when I've talked people out of it because we've got to a fabrication point on something.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I mean, it's anything can be done with money, but I just don't suggest it at this point.
Yeah.
Unless it's just something they really
and that was going to be kind of my follow-up question. How much do you use? Try to come up with a percentage, but how much is it your heart versus your brain when you're doing these resto mods?
I mean, for me, it's all heart, But I guess with that comes the brain a little bit, because I also have like a line in my head. I always talk about there's a line we don't want to cross with these customers and what they're spending, and I tell them, like, we got to draw a line somewhere with this. Like, this is the line. We're not going to go past that. You don't need to go past that. So we've already kind of got those. That's really the best expectation we can set in the beginning of all this. That's where the brain's just kind of subconsciously there. But then the heart, we kind of spend a little extra money on some things sometimes, and it's like, oh, it's only like $500 more to do this little thing, but it's really going to make it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't tell them. Sometimes I don't tell them about it, but
Yeah.
they see it and they're like, oh my gosh,
That was great.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that little thing or whatever it was, and I was like, yeah, that was my idea. And that, those are the kind of things. It's kind of a bang for buck along the way. You kind of run into something and you're like, I think we should just do this instead right here.
Yeah. And do you usually get the customers, like, I mean, you probably don't always agree,
Yeah.
but you'll do whatever the customer wants. I mean, they're paying for it. But I mean, like, we had one in our shop today, Jesse, that was, I mean, I'm very anti-resto in my shop just because it's not our niche. But it was an old Mopar and 63, 64, and they did a custom interior and they put the Rams logo on the back seat. And Tyler, why are you shaking your head? What's the pluses and minuses of that? I mean,
the interior gets me every time. Sometimes I'm just like, let's not do that, please.
Yeah. It's like, why are you putting a ram's head on something that wasn't even around back in 63,
Yep.
And you're putting on this car to immediately scream, hey, this has been restored.
Usually with that, I go into compromise mode.
Okay.
I let them keep the RAM, but then I kind of design it in a way that kind of fits the car,
Okay.
rather than just like a RAM, like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'll try to, like, almost like some of these cars, just massaging the body just a little bit. So it still looks like a 69 Camaro, but there's just something different to it that looks
Got it.
modern and different. That's usually what those kind of situations come up. We just find a compromise because I'm like, I don't want to put that because this is still my product.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do have to get as honest as, like, I don't want to do that. Like, I really don't. But let's compromise. And I've got some design ideas I'll throw your way. That way you still get the RAM. If you're a big RAM guy, let's do it. Like, we'll figure out how to implement it, whether it's on that seat, like you were talking about, or something, a cool little RAM logo in the dash. Like, I want you to have that RAM. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's just a better way to do it. And that's
good.
That's almost one of my favorite parts of this job, or those kind of situations, is working with the client and finding something that works for both of us when it comes down to design and what they want.
That's reasonable. I like that. Go ahead, Jesse.
Tyler, you're obviously an artist. The way you answered some of these questions, this is art for you. It's not just a job, or it's craftsmanship and it's art.
Oh, yeah.
So that's really awesome. Where can people follow you or learn more about what you're doing? We did mention the website, but social media, you mentioned you're on YouTube. Can you tell people where to find more about you and what you're doing?
Yeah. So we're on, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, if you've still got it on your phone, or whatever the latest is with TikTok. And then we're also, I don't know if you've heard of PowerTube TV.
Mm-hmm.
We literally just finished the last episode today. I just filmed the last of it, the last 2 minutes of it, of our last episode for this season, for that. And so we're on PowerTube, and we're going to do another season next fall. So that's been fun and stressful all at the same time. But yeah, we'll have those. I think it's on their YouTube, but we'll eventually have them on our YouTube as well, those episodes. So.
Gotcha. And have you gotten it to a point where, you're starting to get an ROI on all that?
Not quite yet. I mean, so I've gotten plenty of inquiries. I mean, I'll get
Sure.
people calling me like, hey, I saw you on YouTube building this car. I actually we've got a EV project from
Great.
Texas coming up because they saw our Lotus build.
Perfect.
So for me, it's the brand too. I may not see it right now, but it's the best way to grow that brand and get it out there. For a big reach or a small reach, I promote it locally, and promote it nationally.
Listen, Jesse's falling in love with you right now. He loves the branding. He's a marketing guy. So
Oh, yeah.
he is falling in love with this conversation.
Really cool.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks again for having or coming on with us, and man, great props to you guys for doing. It's hard doing what you're doing, but to be able to do it all, Jesse. I mean, talking
Awesome.
about not only selling the jobs, but compromising, being designer, and then actually fulfilling it and doing it with your team is awesome. So, and I love the condo idea.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. I want to come to a Cars and Coffee once it's all done on campus.
We actually own the local Cars and Coffee, so we run
Awesome.
that as well. It's, one more feather in my cap, I guess.
There you go.
You guys going to SEMA? Do you
We go to SEMA every year, but I think this is the first year we're actually not going to go.
too busy?
It's actually my 40th birthday that Saturday,
There you go.
and everyone's like, "Well, what better place to be than SEMA?" And I was like, "I know, I've done SEMA so many years for my birthday. I'm kind of thinking about doing something different, something
Good.
very like opposite of Vegas for my birthday
Good for you.
this year." Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's called life balance. Good. I love
exactly. Yeah, a forest
There you go.
in Montana in November.
it.
And there you have it, another high-octane episode of the Ride and Style podcast. Revved up and ready to go. Your hosts, Jesse Stoddard and Josh Poulson, shifted your automotive game into overdrive. If you're hungry for more insights, trends, and game-changing interviews from the automotive restyling universe, don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a glowing review. We'd also love for you to share this podcast with your gearheads, installers, and auto lovers network. Because remember, knowledge is power, but shared knowledge turbocharges the whole industry. For more expert resources to supercharge your business, cruise on over to autostylemarketing.com, your one-stop shop for everything automotive marketing. Until next time, keep those wheels spinning and your passion ignited. Thank you for riding in style with us. See you on the next lap.